this. The gloves are off between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. In his first campaign rally for the Delhi elections in Seelampur last night, Rahul Gandhi openly attacked Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party. This is what Rahul Gandhi said. And he asked the crowd, the voters of Delhi, what happened to all the tall promises that Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party made about combating corruption, about making Delhi into Paris, etc. Basically, Rahul Gandhi said to the voters in Seelampur who were there at his campaign that according to him, there is basically no difference between Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Modi. Because according to Rahul Gandhi, both of them end up making false promises and they deceive and cheat the voters of Delhi. Now, Kejriwal responded to that. He tweeted it and he sought to kind of downplay what Rahul was trying to say by saying that Rahul Gandhi came to Delhi today, he campaigned, he abused me a lot, but I'm not going to respond to him because Rahul Gandhi's fight is to save the Congress party, whereas my fight is to save the country. So clearly, there's a distinction between the manner in which the Congress is going about this and the manner in which the Aam Aadmi Party is going about this. So one thing is clear, that all is not well in the India alliance. The Congress seems to be attacking the Aam Aadmi Party because after all, it is the incumbent party. And if the Congress has to grow, then it has to be at the expense of the Aam Aadmi Party. And the Aam Aadmi Party realizes this. If in Delhi, even if it were to lose 1 or 2 or 5% vote share back to the Congress, then that would damage the AAP way more than it would damage the BJP. The average Congress voter does not vote for the BJP, and vice versa. The average BJP voter does not vote for the Congress. But the AAP and the Congress voter is fungible. And that's what we've seen in numerous elections in the past. The BJP is also using this whole powwow between Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Gandhi to say, where is the India alliance? Has the utility of the India alliance completely run its course? Has the India alliance now collapsed? And by the way, this is not just a Delhi story. This is not just a Kejriwal versus Rahul Gandhi story for the upcoming Delhi election. Mr. Sharad Pawar, the grand old man of Maharashtra politics, for example, today said that his party, the NCP Sharad Pawar SP, will decide and will most likely go solo in the upcoming municipal corporation elections in Mumbai as well as other urban bodies in Maharashtra. Now, this is similar to what Uddhav Thackeray and the Sena UBT said. This is similar to what many in the Congress in Maharashtra want. So clearly something is up with the India alliance. Now, is it the fact that this was an alliance that came together for one election, the 2024 general election? It had one singular purpose, and that was to defeat Modi and the BJP. Yes, they were not very successful in defeating the BJP or Mr. Modi, but certainly they reduced the BJP and the NDA's majority. So, is the India alliance now all but dead on paper? Has its utility now gone well past its sell-by date? We'll try and analyze all of that with a full-fledged political panel. But first, the story of Mr. Gandhi's first campaign for the Delhi elections and how that has set a cat amongst the pigeons.
इनके नेताओं को लग रहा है कि वो जीत तो रहे नहीं है।
केजरीवाल जी ने बहुत बड़ा प्रचार किया, दिल्ली को मैं साफ कर दूंगा, भ्रष्टाचार मिटा दूंगा। अब आप बताइए, दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने भ्रष्टाचार मिटाया क्या? मिट गया।
राहुल गांधी जी की लड़ाई कांग्रेस को बचाने की है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की लड़ाई देश को बचाने की है।
जहाँ तक वहाँ जैसी की बात है, तो हमारी साक्षर की भावना कि एक सोशल मिशन चुनाव के लिए सामना कर सकते हैं, तो सोचना चाहिए।
वाह राहुल गांधी जी, आप आज केजरीवाल पर और आम आदमी पार्टी पर हमला कर रहे हैं, पर आप तो छोटे मियाँ और बड़े मियाँ हैं। दोनों की हरकतें और दोनों का वोट बैंक तो एक ही है।
All right, so what is the political calculation here? And I want to break this down as per the results of the 2015 and the 2020 Delhi Assembly elections. Why are Congress and Aam Aadmi Party having a go at each other? Now, if you look at the 2015 Assembly elections in Delhi, and that's the first time the Aam Aadmi Party got a full majority, it had a whopping vote share. It had 54.6% vote share. It had 67 out of the 70 MLAs in the 2015 Assembly. Now, the Congress, on the other hand, it had a decent vote share. It had an almost 10% vote share. It's not a small thing. It's about 1 in 10 voters. That would roughly translate to about 10 lakh voters or so who voted for the Congress in the 2015 election. But the vote share to seat share conversion did not happen because it was a multilateral fight. It was a multi-cornered fight. It was a 3 or 4 party fight at that time. Therefore, the Congress got 0 MLAs. But the vote share was not bad. It was 9.7%, but 0 MLAs. 5 years after that, the Congress's vote share collapsed from 9.7 or 10% in double digits. It came down to just 4.2%, less than 5%. So there's been a 5% fall in the Congress's vote share between 2015 and 2020. MLAs, 0. In both elections, it failed to open its account in terms of the MLA count. The Aam Aadmi Party's vote share fell a bit from 54. It fell down to 53.5. Its seat share also fell from 67 to 62. But what is clear is there was a 5% swing away from the Congress. And whenever a 5% or more vote share transfers away from the Congress, it goes to the Aam Aadmi Party because the average Congress voter is highly unlikely to vote for the BJP, and vice versa. The average BJP voter is highly unlikely to vote for the Congress. Whereas the AAP and the Congress voter, at least some segment of it, in this case between the 2015 and the 2020 elections, 5% of the Congress voter shifted to the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, why then is Rahul Gandhi going after Arvind Kejriwal? After all, they are India Alliance partners, albeit there is no India Alliance for this current local election. There was one for the election 6 months ago. Like I said, the vote bank is the same. What was the old Congress vote bank? It was the Jhuggi Jhopadi voter, the slum cluster voter, the minority voter, the Dalit voter. This is the traditional base of the Congress party, which seems to have shifted, at least in the last 2 election cycles, almost en masse to the Aam Aadmi Party. These were voters who were once loyal to the Congress party. They have shifted to the AAP. If the Congress manages to revive even a fraction, even if it were to get back that 5% that it lost between 15 and 20, that 5% would translate to about 5 lakh extra voters. That 5 lakh extra voters may not give the Congress any great number of new additional MLAs. It may not open the Congress's MLA share or MLA account. But what it does is it takes away that 5% from the Aam Aadmi Party, and the Aam Aadmi Party realizes that that 5% could be the difference in a close election. It also helps the BJP if the Congress performs better in Delhi because it's a triangular contest, because it's taking away votes from the major incumbent party, which is the Aam Aadmi Party. It also splits the anti-BJP vote between 2 parties, between the AAP and the Congress, and therefore the BJP is hoping that whenever there is a split of the vote, of the opposition vote, that is always beneficial to the BJP. Now, let's try and put this to our guests. I'll also go to the magic wall through the course of this debate and explain which is this voter base or this voter segment that both parties are vying for, and why Rahul Gandhi is attacking Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Kejriwal is hoping to downplay those attacks. Tuin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Anika Malhotra, spokesperson of the Congress, is joining us. Preeti Sharma Menon, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Rajat Sethi, political analyst, is also joining us. Preeti Sharma Menon, let me start with you first. Mr. Gandhi is, taken the gloves off. He's basically said, in as many words, that there is no difference between Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Modi. They all make big promises, tall promises. Mr. Kejriwal said, I'll get rid of corruption, we'll make Delhi into Paris. Kya kuch kiya usne, unhone? That's the question he has asked. This is your alliance partner asking the question, ma'am.
So firstly, the alliance was for the parliamentary election, and post the alliance, most of the alliance partners have contested against each other in various assembly elections. And we've always been against the Congress in Punjab. We contested separately in Haryana. In some cases, we did assist them, like we did in Maharashtra. We supported the MBA alliance. So, assembly equations are definitely different from that of the parliamentary election. And but yet, I think the sympathies do usually carry on, like we supported them in Maharashtra, and many of the India Alliance partners have supported Aam Aadmi Party, have supported Arvind Kejriwal here in this election. The Trinamool Congress, Akhilesh Yadav ji, Sharad Pawar Sahab, Uddhav ji Thackeray, so many leaders of the India Alliance have expressed their support to Arvind Kejriwal, to the Aam Aadmi Party. It is unfortunate that Rahul Gandhi has taken this stance because today the problem that the nation is facing is that there is one state, Delhi, where delivery of welfare schemes has taken place. And if that is not allowed to continue, then everyone must come together and save it. But Congress has decided to take another route. But it's not so relevant in Delhi anymore. It's really not going to make a difference. Your own math, you were just quoting.
Okay, you may say he's chosen to attack and so on. But what about the questions he's asked? Mr. Kejriwal came to this thing saying, I'll get rid of corruption. Has he got rid of corruption? The crowd there says no. Isn't that a question worth answering?
I think everyone who has their own captive crowd, like when BJP sits with their own captive crowd, they say all kinds of things against Arvind Kejriwal. Sometimes we are a Pakistani, sometimes we are a Hindu, sometimes we are, an Aptard, sometimes we are something else. So I think when anybody is sitting with their captive audience, they can make them say anything against anyone else. Okay. But the people of Delhi are with Arvind Kejriwal. If you look at any voter survey that is being taking place now, and you may have done some yourselves, you will see that we are strides ahead. You pointed out that in 2015 we were 54%. And when Congress lost 5%, we were still 53.5%. So the Congress's loss was not necessarily, something which was caused by us. It's not as if we went from 54% to 59% and that's why Congress lost 5% in the next election. So we really didn't take away that vote bank in the second election. Initially, yes, we swept the Congress vote bank, as you may call it. But I think today the fight is between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. And what saddens me is the closeness of the Congress with the BJP, because they have taken a stand against the BJP in so many cases. But now we see that Sandeep Dixit easily gets a meeting
Mr.
with
Kejriwal also said this today.
the LG.
That Congress is BJP's B team. What are you, the Aam Aadmi Party? At the end of the day, is the fight for one small state of Delhi with 70 seats, or is the fight for India? Because with what Mr. Gandhi has said, and what all spokespersons from different India Alliance partners seem to be suggesting, the India Alliance's purpose is now pretty much over. You should disband it. That's what Omar Abdullah said last week. The purpose of the India Alliance is over. Let's dismantle it now.
That can be seen once the Vidhan Sabha elections are over. As rightly said, it was for the Lok Sabha elections. But here, Rakasji, I would like to point out that the Aam Aadmi Party is devoid of any vision or any kind of a progressive approach towards Delhi, and hence they're helter-skelter, and they're looking again to fall back on empathy, or maybe things like hame gali di jati hai, or that sympathy vote that they always want to create. But it's very hilarious to listen to them, and they say that we are supporting BJP. Well, why did they go to the godfather, the RSS? Why did they go and cry, a foul cry, to the RSS chief? They wrote a letter to him. I mean, this is the way they behave. This is the level of hypocrisy that they do in Delhi. Look, they might have got a pan-India or a national status, but they are not relevant pan-India. You see, they go and disturb other parties. Wherever there is a two-way fight between the Congress and the BJP, they want to pitch in and help the BJP.
So your contention is in Haryana, in Gujarat, other places where AAP contested, they were helping the BJP's case. So why should you return any favor in Delhi, where the AAP is the incumbent party? Is that your contention? But then AAP can say they are a free political party. They can expand wherever they want to.
Sir, that's another issue. The concern is that whatever welfare scheme they talk about, they call it bravery or whatever has prompted me to say that. I challenge them, let them give 101 this time in Delhi. People will not be lured because they have seen how they worked in Punjab. They are a full-fledged government there. You see, in Delhi, I understand the LG been planted by BJP, obstruction in the work, not allowed to do, and both fighting amongst each other, and the result, a devastating Delhi. a result that Delhi has been totally plundered by these two parties, Rakaji. And Punjab is a live example. They said environment...
Tuhin Sinha, the point is that it suits the BJP if AAP and Congress are fighting against each other. It suits the BJP if the Congress actually does better. If you look at again between 2015 and 2020, in the 2015 election, BJP had 32.6% vote share and it had 3 MLAs. In the 2020 election, the vote share increased from 32 to 37%, but the MLA count went from 3 to 8. So ultimately, if the Congress vote collapses, that damages the BJP and that helps the Aam Aadmi Party. And vice versa, if the Congress is strong, it helps the BJP more than it helps the Congress, or more than it helps the Aam Aadmi Party.
Good evening, Zaka. Good evening, everybody. Well, honestly, we don't look at it that way, because whether they make an alliance or whether they fight independently, fact is that both Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party are the same. And look at they follow a bizarre pattern. Not just these two parties, Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party, across the country, Indie alliance partners, first they try to desperately cobble up an alliance, an unnatural alliance, and when they are unable to do that, or when they face defeat like in Maharashtra, they start calling each other the B team of the BJP. So honestly, it makes no difference to us whether they are together, whether they are not together, because people perceive them as one and the same. And
no, but when they were together in 2024 general election, your seat came from 303 to 240. So the purpose was achieved.
No, those were different issues. Pan-India was a different issue altogether. They managed to successfully spread the canard that the constitution was in danger. That cannot happen again. In Delhi, let me put forth a very simple calculation for you. In Delhi, in the last 3 Lok Sabha elections, we have got more than 50%, way above 50% vote share, and we have managed all 7 seats. The only reason why Kejriwal was succeeding was because of the freebies pact factor. But today with the electrocution deaths, today with the waterlogging deaths, today with the quality of air, with the quality of water, people realize that those freebies come for a very heavy price and they are not going to trust Kejriwal anymore. So trust me, on this day, you can mark the date and the time. I'm telling you, the elections results will be very similar to the results you saw in Maharashtra. We are headed for a massive win on both of these parties, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party.
There's a difference between the Maharashtra election and the Delhi election. Maharashtra was a fight between 2 alliances. And there were 6 parties. Usually there are 4, but this was the election that you had 6 parties, and it was essentially a bilateral fight or a bipolar fight, in the sense that you are either voting for Mahayuti or you are voting for Mahavikas Aghadi. It was a straight choice before the people of Maharashtra. I don't think the smaller parties really played that much of a role. Whereas in Delhi, it is a triangular fight, or at least the BJP is hoping it will be a triangular fight, because a stronger Congress means a weaker Aam Aadmi Party.
Congress is not in the picture, but as far as we are concerned.
Okay.
As far as we are concerned, Congress is not in the picture. Congress might at best win 1 or 2 seats. The Congress is not in the picture at all. It's a straight fight, and the BJP is way ahead of.
Let me ask Ghanshyam. Ghanshyam, the fact of the matter is that, forget about Delhi for a moment. I think Preeti or someone earlier said that, look at all the other India alliance partners, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, your leader, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, Mr. Sharad Pawar, Ms. Mamta Banerjee, all very important members of the India alliance are supporting AAP and not Congress for the Delhi elections. Again, one could ask the rationale for, what is the rationale for doing that? Because at the end of the day, let's be very clear about it. If there's no Congress, there is no India alliance. Congress is the fulcrum of the India alliance, whether you like it or not, at least in a national picture. Congress has 99 seats. The other parties put together may not add up to 99 seats. Point is that, has this experiment ended? Has this experiment, which for whatever reason you came together in 2024 summer in the general election, that purpose has now been outlived?
Good evening, Zaka, to you, the viewers, and the fellow co-panelists. There are 3 things that are important. One is that, almost as a matter of fact, no one anywhere in India believes that the Batenge party can deliver on jobs, can deliver on harmony, can deliver on anything related to people's right, upliftment of the poor, backwards Dalits, or the minorities, or the women. The Batenge party's track record is Batenge. That's their mantra. In contrast, India Alliance has stood for constitution in national elections. I do not think that any alliance can fit every poll that is happening across the country. There are polls at a city level, there are polls at a state level, and polls at the national level. The India Alliance delivered against the Batenge Katenge party in the national elections, and it will continue to deliver on the national issues. Just like BJP was out of wits, unable to hide itself in the parliament session, winter session, and kept disrupting the parliament, in spite of being in majority in the parliament. The Prime Minister was barely present.
If the common enemy is the Batenge Katenge party, as you say, why aren't both India Alliance partners attacking the Batenge Katenge party? They're instead attacking each other. That's where the problem is.
You're right. As I said, that no alliance can fit every election. Only a dictatorial alliance like NDA can fit every election, where no party has any voice except the BJP. As far as India Alliance is concerned, I urge your viewers that to look at an alliance and say that the India Alliance will fit into a state election, a municipal election, as well as a national election is the wrong viewpoint. The right viewpoint, in my view, is that does the parties that are coming to for your vote in Delhi, are they speaking about governance? Are they speaking about the things that matter to you, or are they talking about Batenge Katenge? That is the choice people have to make. Okay. Whether Congress is better than AAP or not, it is people who will decide. Aam Aadmi Party has a model. It has delivered on that particular model. It has a strong leadership for Delhi. So people have a very clear way to think about it.
Okay, so let me ask Rajat Sethi that, all of these data points, vote share, all of this ultimately does not matter to the average voter of Delhi. The average voter of Delhi is going to make that calculation. Is my life better off than it was in the last 5 years? If it is, then I vote for the incumbent. If it is not, I vote against the incumbent. But the point is, Rajat, that ultimately, if an election has to be decided on the track record of the incumbent, then neither of the two opposition parties, neither BJP nor Congress, is actually questioning the record of the incumbent. Today, for example, there is this huge controversy around this juvenile who was apprehended for making hoax calls, and then there is some connection between his parents and an NGO, and that NGO reportedly funded the Aam Aadmi Party. You think that this is what the average Delhi voter cares about?
Absolutely, Zaka, you bang on that. You look at the last 30 days of electoral conversations, electoral narratives that are floating around in Delhi. Delhi is one of the most promising cities of a fastest growing major economy in the world. And look at where we are. Do we even compare with other cosmopolitans around the world? The kind of issues that are being deliberated upon there, the kind of forward-looking thinking that is there in most of these cities, where does Delhi stand? Look at even within the country. Delhi is now considerably lagging behind Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, pick any other cosmopolitan city. And here you have a fully functional government which apparently has a lot of political capital with them, and they could have walked that extra mile, because remember, Kejriwal brought something special to the table which the incumbent parties were not doing. He was bringing a technocratic mind and a policy-centric approach to the table. But over the past 5 years, all that the Delhi people have got is drama and after drama, nothing more than that. And most of the discussions and deliberations aren't about those technocratic interventions. It has now boiled down to this, look at the holdings in Delhi. He is saying, are you going to choose the Gali Galoj party? What kind of words is he bringing to the table? He was an IIT, and he was my senior from IIT Kharagpur. We expected something from him, something different from what the usual parties were doing. But he has actually, with a double speed, fallen onto the slippery slope. And we now see that Delhi is headed towards this embarrassing contest between parties. And look at what Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, they are both heading towards a mutually assured destruction path. This path is mutually assured because Congress is stung ever since 2013 and their losses since that time. And look at in Haryana, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, in all of these northern states, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are head-on colliding with each other. There are no common grounds. There is no common principles or agenda that they can fall up to. And only attacking BJP cannot be your core thesis around which you glue everything together.
I think
they are also stung because of Haryana. Look at Haryana. Aam Aadmi got barely 2% vote, but enough to completely dent Congress party in an otherwise state where Congress could have ideally won.
I'll echo what Rajat has been saying.
In Delhi as well.
I'll echo what Rajat has been saying. Look at the air. The pollution problem has not been fixed. Now, you can go around in circles about who's responsible, has centre done, has Delhi state government done. We were told when AAP comes to power in Punjab, they will make sure that the farmers stop stubble burning. It still continues. So, the air is a problem, not been fixed. The water, regularly we can see frothing on the Yamuna. In the summer months, there is massive water shortage. That again, could it have been fixed? The answer is it's not been fixed. Look at the landfills. I mean, today the amount of garbage, open garbage, that you see in the city of Delhi. Again, I'm not saying, one state government over central government, whatever it is. Fact is that the problem is still there, it's visible, it's not been solved. And Preeti Sharma Menon, ultimately, you have to account for that because you are the incumbent party.
Absolutely. I think we have to account for the work that we have done and the work that we have to do. And that's what we are contesting this election on. Somebody mentioned repeatedly that, the AAP and the Congress against each other. The AAP has no fight with the Congress. We are not even discussing the Congress. In fact, even in Haryana when we contested, we did not contest against the Congress or even mention them during our campaign. We are contesting against what the BJP is doing in Delhi. We are contesting against the voter manipulation that's happening. We are contesting against the distribution of cash, absolute monies and objects being given to which the Election Commission sadly has not taken cognizance of yet, though they assured us that they would. So there are huge issues happening in Delhi and sadly Congress doesn't see that issue. I mean, they did not think it necessary to comment on the voter manipulation when we've proved it. BJP MPs from their official residences have put in applications for 25, 26, 30, 32 voters from single residences. And that's something that the Congress thought that it was not necessary to complain about. But we did. We saw that voter manipulation has happened in the past in Maharashtra, and we will not allow it to happen in. So these are the issues.
Ma'am, what's in it for the voter? How does it concern the Delhi voter? Open landfills concern the Delhi voter. Bad air during winter months, stubble burning, that concerns the Delhi voter. Bad infrastructure, bad roads, that concerns the Delhi voter. I mean, speak to that, please.
Correct. May I speak on that?
Yeah.
Please, I will. So, as far infrastructure has gone, in the last 10 years, from 2015 to now, the metro network has grown from 200 kilometers to 450 kilometers, in which both the state and the central government have worked together. 10,000 kilometers of new roads have been laid. 38 flyovers have been added. Buses have gone up from 5,000 to 7,700. 6,800 kilometers of sewage lines have been put. 4,000 kilometers of new water pipelines. 3 lakh cameras have been added. From 66,000, the streetlights have gone to 4 lakh. There has been tremendous work done on infrastructure besides the work that we do on health, education, Bijli, Pani, which is the standard work that we do. And then you are on the ground. If you go on the ground, you will see people.
So she's rattled out the infrastructure changes, Onika Malhotra. Do you see that on ground on Delhi? AAP is convinced that they have delivered. What they have promised, they have delivered.
Raka sir is evidently clear that
we still have to do more, but
they are just they are tom-tomming their false promises as they've always been done, and that is why they are deviating from the main issues in this election. Repeatedly, they was again started saying that we are being abused or we are not allowed to do work. They've never spoken of the work they've done. All they speak about education and health, which is actually not there.
She just gave 400 kilometers of metro,
not
10,000 kilometers of roads,
those were all data.
4 lakh street lights, and so on.
On their
own. These are government figures.
Can you tell us what they have done for the hospitals? What they have done for the roads? Nothing has been done, which is virtually impossible. What you're saying?
I can tell you what we've done for the hospitals.
Data, which
now
is
that
not relevant.
May I please?
1 minute, ma'am. I have not disturbed you, please.
From 9,500 hospital beds have gone up to 13,500. And by next year they'll go up to 30,000 because they're under construction.
You're going to get it back.
I'll give you the data. I'll give you the data with the names of
left, right and center. This time from the water.
All right. I have to wrap up.
Let's discuss details.
Yeah, Tuhin, final
words.
400 kilometers of metro, 1,000 kilometers of roads, bridges.
Aam Aadmi Party, Since the Aam Aadmi Party is waxing eloquent on infrastructure, let me tell you why we call them Apada. 18 waterlogging deaths in just July, August this year in a place like Delhi where it barely rains 4 or 5 times heavily in a year. 26 electrocution deaths in the last 1 year due to naked wires. 1/3 of Delhi children are suffering from asthma-related problem because of repeated, because of successive problems every year of toxic air, which they could have easily controlled in the last 4 years ever since the government in Punjab came up. And 65,000 fake patients in their mohalla clinics, 3 deaths of children because of contaminated syrup. This is the legacy, this is the Aapda legacy which we are fighting. And they still have the audacity, they still have the gumption to talk about infrastructure.
Okay.
I think the plight of Delhi is such that people are.
I'll leave it. I'll leave it to the wise voters of Delhi to decide whether in the last 10 years, all of these changes that Preeti Sharma Menon has outlined, they're actually seeing that visibly on the ground, or as Tuhin and Onika have said, is this just a lot of marketing and gimmickry and so on, and whether or not delivery on the ground has failed to keep pace with the promises that have been made. Ultimately, the voters of Delhi will decide on the 5th of February which of these two narratives they believe in and which is more closer to the reality.